Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Get Since 92, giving you guys the latest and exclusive content of new music, entertainment news, and inspirational quotes. I'm me, the Queen's back at it again. So this is going to be a special video. I'm going to talk about like female R&B artists and the ones that I grew up with, and the future of the female R&B artists. So there are a lot of things that I want to talk about. So it's like a tribute video to like the successful R&B artists, that the females that they have changed the face and changed the game of music. And I will talk about some things that are important when it comes to like female black artists, especially for female black R&B singers, trying to really break the mold and really trying to really make a name for themselves. So I'll give you guys the idea of the ones that I grew up with, especially the successful ones. Like we got like Aretha Franklin, Donna Summers, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Phyllis Hyman, also other female R&B artists that are not black, but they also, like it's a combination of like the ones like talented who are not black but they love the music and culture. We got Teena Marie, Diana Ross, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton, Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Brandy, Aaliyah, Monica, Maya, Deborah Cox, Destiny's Child, TLC, En Vogue, Escape, 702, Black. Those are like the girl groups. 3LW, Danny Kane, Ashanti, Sierra, Cassie, Tweet, Alicia Keys, Keisha Cole, JoJo, Fantasia, Jordan Sparks, Christina DeBarge, Carrie Hilson, Anita Baker, Beyonce, Jennifer Lopez, Anne Marie, India Arie, Erykah Badu, Amy Winehouse, Tweet. So basically, those are the ones that I grew up with during my generation, and I will talk to the future upcoming ones that, like I said, they really like pretty much doing the same thing. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I really do love about, especially the female R&B artists, especially the black female R&B artists. There was a whole bunch and a whole collective of like talented female R&B artists that really broke into mainstream, and really they really like just overall the sound, their image and their artistry. The ones that I even mentioned from like different generations, and even the ones that I grew up with, I really feel like there are a lot of things that, especially that's really, it's important that we just support these artists, because like I said, when it comes to longevity and when it comes to these female R&B artists flourishing in a male dominated music industry, it has its pros, it has its cons. But I feel like with the right marketing, with the right team, staying consistent, promoting the music, and really put out good music and have a sound that's so different from each other, I feel like that's the only way for these female R&B artists to be successful. Because really, to be honest, it's like a lot of things goes on in the music business. And I'm gonna tell you something, when it comes to black female R&B artists, talented ones, of course, like they have the whole package. I mean, the entire aesthetic, the artistry, where, perfect example, like Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton, Mary J. Blige, Brandy, Aaliyah, Monica, and Mariah Carey. Definitely they have pretty much, during like the 90s of their era, they really like changed the face of music. And pretty much they represented the R&B, music and culture, being the face of R&B. Especially the black female R&B artists. Because I feel like even as time goes on, I feel like black female R&B artists catch a lot of unnecessary high expectations. The reason why I say this is because this has been going on for years. And I feel like, even, like I said, fans should be aware of that. We should just support the music and not get caught up in like trying to, tear, one, black female artist down while building another one up, because it's not going to work. Do you know why? Because really, as a collective, they're all talented. And it's really, like I said, it's challenging for them to get their names heard and get their foot in the doors when it comes to like the music business. Like I said, there are connections in the music business. It has always been like that for years. But I feel like with the right team and the right consistent like in marketing and really making sure that they develop their own sound, which I mean by working with different producers that can really put a sound together for them, for any female artist, well them included because it's more than one, to really make sure that their music speaks for itself. And I feel like even like especially in the early, I would say like especially like in the 90s, those artists I mentioned, they really like changed the game of music. Everybody was winning. Everybody was just making music. And fans really loved the music too because each of the female artists, they had their own lane, their own creativity, their own look, their own style, and they separate themselves apart. I also should say recommend checking out my brother Tony Turner. He's a huge Aaliyah fan. He loves Brandy and Monica too. He did a video recently talking about how like people have always loved to put Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica against each other, and especially the fans throughout the years, where it was like Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica, they were so ahead of their time. They really dominated music. They really changed the game of music, and it was room for them to make good music and be successful artists. They pretty much were like the it girls, all three of them, black female successful artists to really change the narrative of music. They made good music, and the fans have always tried to put them against each other throughout the years, where it was like, oh well, she didn't do this enough, oh she's not iconic, she's not a legend, well she didn't have this, she didn't have this type of name brand endorsements, well her music, it was good, but so-and-so's music was more like appealing to mainstream. Really we need to stop doing that, and this is why, and here's why. Because you never know. Let's just support the music. Let's just see, like I said, and just buy the music, because when it comes for female R&B artists to really get their voices heard, it's very difficult and it's challenging. And they have to make sure they gotta be like, resilient, standing onto the beat, standing ground, where people don't take advantage of them, where they don't make, bad decisions with their music careers when it comes to the direction of their music. Also trying to find a really solid, strong team to stay consistent. And team and management, period. What I mean by that, I feel like team and management nowadays are just lacking. But I see a lot of like talented artists right now on the rise, and they have already been doing their thing. They have already like achieved success, especially like the new up and coming R&B artists and the females, where they have, like I said, successful debut albums and they're working on their sophomore album. So I feel like really it's a catch-22. The reason why I say this is because I've seen it time and time again. Also, even the ones like in the early 2000s, and even some of the artists that came from the 90s, really changed the face of music, but they still had longevity. The early 2000s, the female R&B artists that really like did the damn thing, the ones still had longevity. I would say Janet Jackson, Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Brandy, Monica, Destiny's Child, TLC, even the new ones coming in, Ashanti. Man, I'm talking about Ashanti, because Ashanti pretty much really is such a gem in music. And like I said, even though like right now, like I said, she's like pretty much a veterinarian and an OG and R&B female, I feel like for R&B females, I feel like Ashanti, she really broke the mold of like that singing and dancing R&B. Also, like I said, she was, like I said, her peers like Beyonce, with her solo career on the rise. And also, like I said, with Ciara coming in the game too, with her debut album 2004, Goodies. And also Keisha Cole and Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys, like I said, she came out in the early 2000s with like her debut album, and like I said, her sophomore album, The Diary of Alicia Keys. And then Ciara came in at 2004 with Goodies, and then Ashanti was still doing her thing and still doing the damn thing. And then Keisha Cole in 2005, when Keisha Cole came out with her debut album, The Way It Is. And I feel like, especially every couple of years, there'll be more R&B female artists really like, popping up and really like making noise. But instead of us like trying to put them against each other, why can't we just celebrate what they have to offer in music? Especially for the black female R&B artists. And I've seen this over and over again. It's always as well, she's okay, she ain't all that, but she's not a so-and-so. Especially when some people, some stupid ignorant fans love to pit against, some of these female artists against each other. Well, she's not so-and-so, well, she doesn't have that level of so-and-so. it's like, really, you're making it really difficult, and that's why they catch more hell, because it's almost like behind the scenes in the music industry, the connections. Unfortunately, there are like people that they just want a certain image and a certain look when it comes to certain artists, especially for the female artists, because when it comes to women, people love to nitpick women about every goddamn thing. But when it comes to like the music business and female artists breaking in, it's very treacherous. It's kind of like a catch-22, whether they have to like be a certain image or they don't have a certain image, or if they don't have a certain image or look, people won't be interested in their music. They'll be like, oh well, you're talented, but you're not what we're looking for. And I feel like it's BS, because also I have to talk about Missy Elliott too, because she also changed the game of music with her female, like I said, that rebel, her in hip hop and female rap, where she changed the game in female hip hop and rap, and as a lyricist, as a songwriter, as a record producer, where she helped a lot of talented female R&B artists, change the game of music as well, because Missy Elliott pretty much, she played a role in a lot of these female artists' successful music careers too, while she was behind the scenes and while she was working on her music as a solo artist. And I feel like even now, the same thing can happen again. I just feel like now it's like, I wouldn't say it got a lot worse, but it's kind of like a different age and a new ball game, because it's like, now I feel like even listening to the upcoming new female R&B artists, I just think that really some of them that are talented, they catch my eye, and some of them that I've really, like I say, grown listening to music, I feel like to change the narrative of like music being music again. Like, why can't fans just celebrate and enjoy the music, especially when it comes to female R&B artists? Because it's almost like, well, it's only got to be 1, 2, or 3, especially like, well, 3 to make it to the top. Back then, it really wasn't like that. I mean, it still was like kind of competition against the fans, but really people enjoyed the music. And a lot of the fans really just bought the music. Back in the day, like I said about, Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica, they're 3 of them are perfect examples of how their music really elevated to a new sound, a new direction. Their artistry, their singing, especially, the way how they really present themselves as R&B, artists, and they really say the craft, and they love the music. Like, why can't the fans just like support the music instead of always worrying about, well, who's gonna like outdo this and such so and so and so, or she's gonna outdo so and so. And also, I'm gonna talk about especially these up and coming new female R&B artists that really, like I said, are doing their thing in music. The ones that are really like changing the face of music, and I feel like those are the ones I do believe will last as well, are Ella Mai, SZA, Tinashe, Jhené Aiko, her, Ari Lennox, Georgia Smith, Mila J, Malia, Kalani, Summer Walker, Danny Lee, Seven Streeter, Normani, Adonis, Kiana Lede, Queen Asia, Chloe and Halle, Ariana Grande, who else? Ben Jess, Elle Varner, Jasmine Sullivan, Tiana Taylor, K. Michelle, and Tamar Braxton. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. Some of these artists, especially like the ones that really have it, like the talent, the look, the image, but it's really sad and unfortunately it's frustrating, because especially when I talk about certain things, like it goes back like what I said about how Missy Elliott had endured like the unnecessary biasness and misogynistic views from like the music business, the people around in the music business during her day. And I feel like the same thing is happening right now, because I feel like, especially the ones that are really talented, I'm going to talk about Seven Streeter and Normani, and definitely I'm going to talk about who else I feel like, SZA, Tinashe, and Ari Lennox, and I would say really her and Jhené Aiko and Ella Mai, because I feel like even when it comes to the topic of like colorism, now listen, I'm here for any artist that is talented, regardless, dark skin, brown skin, light skin. But here's the thing, notice the differences. Seven Street, a perfect example. She's a singer, she's a songwriter, she's a record producer. Seven Streeter, like I said, her solo career has been doing well, but I feel like she had really went through like some obstacles in her solo career, where really, like I said, she's so underrated. She can sing and she can dance, and she's a huge Aaliyah fan, and of course Aaliyah is one of her main influences in other artists as well. But it's really sad to see how Seven Streeter, I feel like she's so underrated, because Seventh Streeter pretty much represents what R&B is, how it sounds, and how it feels. For her look and her aesthetic, it's like she can sing and dance, period. She can write her music, period. She has also helped and wrote songs for other artists like Ariana Grande, which I love Ariana Grande too. She's doing her thing in music. But Seventh Streeter pretty much, she even explained how she had to be put on the back burner at times because she felt like, it's not like she knew what was going on, but she knew like how unfortunately some people behind the music business, they didn't really see her as like the standard or the quality of what a star looks like. And also, like I said, check out my Artist Diary, Seventh Streeter. I think she was like the first artist that I ever made an Artist Diary, so please check that out. But Seventh Streeter, I feel like she was so underrated because I feel like even for dark-skinned women of color who are black, who are singers, rappers, and songwriters and all the above, I feel like we gotta support them too, because it's almost like it's always like this, the industry really want to promote more like light-skinned singers, rappers, and songwriters rather than promoting like a variety of different women of color. But even like during the 90s, a lot of female, like especially dark-skinned female successful artists, even though colorism still existed, but they still maintained success because they had a following and a strong fan base. Whereas today's like artists, I feel like the fan bases are really fickle now. They don't really understand how the music business works. They feel so entitled, and I feel like they just think that, after a while, since they get tired of like patiently waiting for an album, they'll move on to the next, unfortunately. But I feel like even with Seventh Streeter, she definitely, like I said, is a gem in music. Also, I gotta talk about Normani. Now, here's the thing. This is why I'm gonna go back to down memory lane, and I've been watching videos of other people's perspective on Normani Corday's career. Normani Corday is so talented. The thing is, she's dealing with the same thing. She's been dealing with a lot of stuff like ever since her pursuit and her music career, because Normani basically can really change the game of music. I believe in her, and I really believe that she will last long and have longevity. But there has been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes where there have been opportunities that had got dropped the ball, because Normani, to me, I feel like she's a breath of fresh air, and she really stands out with her music, her singing, her dancing. Now, aside from all of that, I do feel like, and I do believe that she will make a household name for herself as a solo artist. We already know her success in Fifth Harmony. I'm not going to go back down memory lane. But what I'm saying is that Normani basically has what it takes, and she's been doing her thing. She has been putting in the work. It's just that, like I said, unfortunately, some people don't want to see her shine. They don't want to see her win. And also, like I said, behind the scenes, there have been people that try to sabotage her too. Which I really do believe it, because the more I think about it, yeah, I do believe it. Because it's like, Normani's talent and her stage presence speaks for itself. Even though she has like the big names in music who really support her, like Beyonce and Nicki Minaj and other artists around her, I feel like still it's just not enough, because they're like higher people in power and in the music business that they don't really see it for her. But we already know Normani's going to push through anyway. She's going to prosper. And I feel like even like with Normani's situation, I feel like seeing how, it's frustrating that she had to push back her debut album a few times. Then she had, like I said, issues with her management. Here's the thing, and how to promote, especially for R&B, artists, her management needs to step it up. Now, Normani, she does R&B, she does pop, she does soul, she does alternative music. The thing is, it's not her music that's the issue, it's her management. And this is why I have a feeling that if her management team doesn't get together, she's going to go through a lot of that limbo up and down. And I've seen it before, a perfect example like with Ciara. I say Ciara because Ciara is another R&B artist that she has really made a lot of progression in her music career. But there were people behind the scenes that tried to sabotage her as well, and she had to revamp her music career. And now she's back onto new and better things. So she has her own independent record label, Beauty Marks Entertainment. And you already know, as a Ciara fan, I make Ciara fans videos, but you guys get the drill. But with Normani, I feel like Normani's team need to get it together, because it's kind of like this. Because really, I feel like her fans gonna have to like really step up to the plate and support her. It's almost like, you know, it's now or never. You gotta get the ball going because really, even especially going back down memory lane, I remember like talented female dark skinned R&B artists such as Tweet. I love Tweet. Tweet did a damn thing in music. She came out in the early 2000s and she worked with Missy Elliott and Timbaland, all like the great producers. But Tweet had a nostalgic sound where it was like R&B, funk, soul, and pop, and dance. I feel like Normani can take that direction as well because her music, even the singles that she released, they got a variety of like different sounds and genres where it's like R&B, pop, alternative, and dance. And she has a lot of that like, it's almost like that natural like ear of music, which I feel like from Normani Koday's standpoint, she's just gonna have to really make sure to protect herself, her image, and her brand. Also, her team and management, they need to do the same thing. And I feel like also with a talent like Normani Koday, it's kind of like she really pushed through a lot of things, and she's really resilient. And I feel like even with Normani Koday, she basically really like it's a breath of fresh air in music. I mean, really, I hate comparing like her other peers because they all are refreshing. They bring something different to the table. But I feel like Normani's sound can be more like that R&B alternative kind of music where it's like she can dip and dab in different layers of her sound and cross over. With the right team of management, she can do it and she can be successful. Also, we gotta let Normani be Normani because Normani can't be nobody but her. Like I said, the comparisons of other artists have also took a toll and a pressure on her to live up to the standard or to the hype of like, okay, whether is she gonna be able to become the standard or the face of music in R&B? Will she be able to have that mainstream success? And here's the thing, it's tricky, especially when it comes to female R&B artists, especially for the black female R&B artists, because I look at SZA. SZA is another favorite R&B artist of mine, and I need to get her debut album Control, because SZA basically, her debut album Control is a perfect example of like her exploring different sounds on her music and making experiments of R&B. And also, basically, she really put in a lot of work making sure that her sound was really new, fresh, edgy, and she would redefine the genre. And I feel like SZA is so underrated too because when it comes to her music, she really has more like that R&B, nostalgia, dance, pop vibe kind of music, and it has more like that acoustic feeling of her sound. And SZA has a lot of, you know, range. She has a lot of like versatility. She has more of like that like good ear music because listening to her Control debut album, she really made a lot of noise, and especially as a new upcoming female R&B black artist, it's really important that we support artists like SZA. Yes, SZA, she's another it girl too in the black female R&B artist, because I feel like it's happening again. Same thing how I say with Aaliyah and Brandy and Monica. I definitely would say SZA, her, LMA, who else? I would say Normani, and I would say Summer Walker, and I would say Ari Lennox. Now with that being said, I feel like they really pretty much are like the up and coming new it girls of R&B, because really, like I said, I feel like they're bringing back like that R&B soul nostalgia and the vibe of soul music. And really what I like about them too, they're humble, they got different like sounds and varieties and just a lot of that feeling. Because really when I was listening to whatchamacallit, SZA's Control album, it's kind of like SZA really broke through the barriers of like R&B artists to really like tap into like the direction of like R&B, pop, and R&B nostalgia. She reminded me of like the aesthetic of like Brandy. I'm a huge Brandy fan, the Vocal Bible Stars fan. I love Brandy. I promote my queen Brandy, Rihanna Norwood, because going back to Brandy, when she started off in her music career, she was young. She had really developed like a old school traditional R&B sound, but with a new sound. And she had R&B, pop, dance, and she had a lot of that like the nostalgia of like the quality sound of her music. and her music crossovers from many different ages. Age ranges up from young to adult, young, teenagers, and adult. I feel like Brandy, she's a perfect example for future R&B artists to follow by, because Brandy was able to, producers that she worked with, they were on their A game. They had like that versatility, they had that range. They really definitely had like a new sound, and they were not afraid to experiment with their music. And I also feel like SZA stands out because really I feel like no one is really sounding like her, because she has a beautiful voice and is unique, and she does have like that soul and raspy tone of her voice while she's singing. There's a lot like that sultry layered. And I feel like SZA stands out to me, in my opinion, because I feel like she brought back like that alternative R&B soul and that sound. Where I feel like also Ella Mai, she's another one. I had to get, used to listen to her music and her direction, her sound too, but she has been doing her thing, because she has like that R&B, hip hop, soul, pop, and it's more like, alternative with different sounds and just different vibrations. Where Ella Mai, she really, the producers that she worked with, they really made sure to give her a sound that was so like melodic, soulful. I feel like SZA, Ella Mai, her, Ari Lennox, they give more like that melodic, soulful sound. And I'll say Jhené Aiko, they give more like that melodic, soulful sound, even though it's alternative music and R&B soul. It's like that melodic. It's kind of like a, it's kind of like that soulful, like the vibes of the 90s music, because that's how like artists like Toni Braxton, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Brandy, Monica, Maya, they brought back like that soulful sound. And I'll say Destiny's Child, they brought back that soulful sound. And Beyonce, I think they brought back that soulful sound of like, okay, this is a sound where everything is more soulful, the rhythm, the blues, the harmonies, and really making sure that, it's very like, it's kind of like, it's just very authentic. Also, oh yeah, I can't forget June's Diary. Now, speaking of girl groups, I'm gonna get into it. My favorite girl groups of all time, I would say Destiny's Child, TLC, En Vogue, Escape, 702, Black, 3LW, Danny Kane. Yeah. I mean, and Diana Ross and the Supremes, because I grew up listening to them too. June's Diary, I gotta talk about June's Diary. Now, June's Diary. I'm a huge June's Diary fan, right? So I've been promoting June's Diary. Now, June's Diary are definitely talented, and I can see them really like doing the damn thing for R&B girl groups, because it's really important that we get to see an R&B black female girl group like June's Diary. Now, June's Diary, they've been putting in the work. They have been doing a damn thing in music. I promote June's Diary. I will always promote them, and I really will see June's Diary one day. I really speak into existence, because June's Diary are that girl group everybody has been missing. It's almost like a group that have all, they have it, period. They have the talent, the aesthetic, humble, integrity, work ethic, love music, and appreciate music. They're bringing back R&B at its finest, because even when they came out, like I said, I'm not going back down memory lane, but you guys know what was going on behind the scenes. I'm focusing on it now. But so far, they have put out like the Middle Edition mixtape. They put out the All of Us EP, and now they've been working on their debut album. They put out Stuntin' and I Ain't With It. So, like I said, I'm so like really ready for June's Diary to really blow up and do the damn thing R&B music, because I feel like for a girl group, for them and other girl groups as well, it's not just all about them, but they can go neck and neck. Like, they pretty much have what it takes to really elevate themselves. And not only that, they can really like make sure that their music speaks for itself, which is really frustrating, because I see how R&B nowadays has gotten more like that trappy vibe of music, that moody kind of music, and really there's just a lack of soul and direction and creativity in the production. Everything sounds the same. Some artists, like I said, I feel like who have already have a sound that they really crafted from the ground up. Unfortunately, like I said, some of them may lose their momentum. They may lose like their artistry because it's kind of like a catch-22. I feel like artists that really put in a lot of work into their craft and their music, they can really change their artistry without going too farther in the mainstream. That's why June's Diary, everybody has been rooting for June's Diary, JD Squad since day one. We really want to see a girl group really prosper in today's 2020. Actually, I'm not gonna say. I want to say girl groups. Girl groups should prosper in 2020 and beyond, because all the girl groups that I grew up with, like Destiny's Child, TLC, En Vogue, and the rest of them, I feel like June's Diary and the rest of the girl groups that, okay, there's this girl group called Good Girl. Check them out. I don't know. Okay, Citizen Queen. Check them out. They're dope. Who else? I know it's a couple. It's a few more of them. Oh, Sarai. That's another one. But it's almost like more of them can like survive and win and make good music. The thing about June's Diary too is like they really fit more like that R&B soul of the R&B aesthetic of music, the rhythm and blues. They can all sing in harmony. They can all dance on beat. That's very rare nowadays, because you know why? For groups to really excel and to really persevere, they're gonna have to it's just not just like this, well, social media presence. They gotta work on their craft, and they gotta make sure that their sound speaks for itself. Stay consistent with the music, study other groups, male and female, study other solo artists as well, especially when it comes to singing. June's Diary's voices are like smooth harmony, butter. They're like sirens in a good way while they're singing on beat, because their voices really can carry you and take you to places. It's like the melodic, the harmony, just the charisma, the passion, the soul. They have a lot of soul in their music. You can hear it in their music. Their sound is more a combination of R&B, soul, pop, alternative, and hip-hop. Here's the thing, what I look for their debut album. I really want for them to really take the world by storm with their debut album and make a statement. I feel like even for them as a girl group, they're just going to have to make sure that their sound is authentic and that they really make sure that they take it to another level. Because like I said, I'm not really feeling today's music as much. The radio, it is what it is. So really it's like June's Diary, we have to be on the lookout for them. And yes, I will promote June's Diary. And yes, you will get more June's Diary content in the future. Because I feel like, especially I like talking about artists that really are underrated and they have all that talent and they make good music. But June's Diary are a perfect example of a girl group that this is pretty much what a girl group consists of. You know, this is what a girl group is supposed to be about. Especially like I said, and I know throughout all the halupa and the drama behind the scenes, and it was like, people like, well, people are not interested in girl groups. Bye, Felicia. Hashtag sorry not sorry. You're not interested in a girl group, that's fine, but people are. Whether you want to admit it or not. Whether you like it or not. Because I feel like June's Diary, they really bring back like the tradition and the essence of R&B, soul, even the tradition of what the R&B girl groups and R&B female R&B girl groups consist of, what they represented. It goes back to the successful R&B girl groups before their generation, you know, and like I said, they came before them. The like really the ones that broke out, the ones that I mentioned. It's kind of like June's Diary pretty much are like the up and coming girl group of their generation. And for R&B lovers and fans, I know they're in for a girl group nowadays. They're in for girl groups because it's like June's Diary pretty much, they have been working their way up to make sure that they know their role as a girl group. They know who they are. as a girl group. They represent June's Diary. They want to make sure June's Diary's music is June's Diary music, period. I don't care what nobody says. I'm not here to be like, my thing is, as long as the music is good music, it's experimental, it's quality music, it's experimental, it's innovation, it's innovative, and different sounds, up-tempo music. I want to hear more up-tempo music, because I feel like nowadays with this R&B music, some of the up-tempo music is garbage and trash. What I mean by that, I'm talking about like an up-tempo song that's like want to make you dance, want to make you express yourself, like be free. And some of these like up-tempo songs and the trap songs are trash because these producers are just making the same beat, the same sounds, and the same redundant sounds. And June's Diary, I feel like they are a perfect example of really making sure they have the range, the soul. You guys check out their EP, All of Us, that they put out, I would say 2 years ago. Check that EP out. Check that mixtape out. That's a great body of work that they made. And also, I ain't stunning. No, I ain't with it in stunting because they pretty much are giving back like that vibe of tempo music and the sensual music, and then like the mid-tempo and like that R&B and motivation music, and also a little bit like a mystiqueness where it's like they make quality music. That's why I feel like June's Diary will pretty much prosper, because even they said themselves, it's like they don't understand, like people try to make it seem like girl groups can't exist nowadays. And it's been frustrating to see how June's Diary, they're so criminally underrated. But that's why I feel like once they put out their debut album, it has to live up to their artistry. The music gotta live up to their name. The music, the title, everything. So with that being said, guys, please support June's Diary. I support June's Diary forever. I'm a Junebug for life, period. And that's that. Now, let me talk about how even the R&B female artists that I feel that, especially, well, I'll talk about the future of female R&B artists, because even the ones that are criminally underrated, and especially the ones that I grew up with, I want to hear more music from them because it's been a while. I'm going to talk about Keri Hilson. Keri Hilson, I'm going to tell you something. It was so interesting to see how Keri Hilson's music career ended up, because I'm not putting her down. I love Keri Hilson. I feel like Keri Hilson is another example of a female R&B artist where in the black female artists, where we gotta be careful about pinning them against each other. Keri Hilson, she did the damn thing in music. Keri Hilson came out like around 2008. I remember, I was in high school. Keri Hilson had like that swag. She really was like on a roll. And also she wrote for other artists as well. I like that. Keri Hilson, her sound, her music, she gave a lot of like that R&B soul, and she had a lot of that like hip hop influence. And some people, they love to discredit her and make jokes. I'm not here for it. I will drag you, because she's one of those R&B female artists that she stood out too. It's just that all that crazy stuff, unfortunately, it did affect her music career. But her talent, her pen game, she wrote other songs for other artists. She singing and dancing. She really did have her own lane in music. I feel like that's why when it comes to artists having their own lane in music, we can't expect them to be the next so-and-so. They gotta be the next so-and-so of themselves. But I remember listening to Keri Hilson's music. She had like her hit records. She was very like on the rise of her music, but because of the, whatever, I just feel like we need to hear more Keri Hilson music. Especially, she's such a gem of music, especially as a female black artist, because it's almost like Keri Hilson, who else? Ashanti, Keisha Cole, Anne Marie, and Tweet. I gotta be honest, and Maya, because I feel like they're pretty much like those artists wearing R&B. They really were the one, and they are like pioneers too, because I feel like they are pioneers because they did all like the R&B, pop, the dance, the alternative, and Aaliyah and Brandy and Monica. Because really, it's kind of like they brought all that soul back, but then after 2005, it started to go downhill, where the music was changing, the music business was changing, and then now the music started getting more oversaturated with the generic sound of like we'll hear like a beat right today, we'll hear like an R&B song, but it's missing the soul, it's missing the variety, and the producers, they really pretty much are so focused on like a hit record. They're just really focused on like just one sound or maybe two sounds, and that's that, instead of having like three sounds. Add an extra sound, add an extra like layer to the production. And really the vibe, it's like, I know people say, well, it's all about the vibes now, but I feel like the vibes were back in the day. And I feel like sometimes being Pacific, it's kind of like vibes, okay, good vibes, but what kind of vibes? Because when you say, okay, when a person says, okay, I'm just making vibes, I'm just bringing back vibes, I'm having all different kind of vibes, I'm like, what kind of vibe? Are you doing R&B, hip-hop, pop, mixture? Because really, the slang now, it's kind of like these artists have been bringing vibes for years. It's just that now, the kind of direction of R&B right now, it's not too much on like lyricism. It's like the lyrics, they've gotten really degrading and then cliche, and then it's kind of like really it's just a couple of songs and that's that. And also the songs are like 2 minutes, and I'm used to listening to like a 3-minute or a 4-minute song. So I'm starting to see the change in like the direction of the music now, where artists are cutting more down of how long their songs are supposed to be. It's more like 2 minutes now, where it's kind of like, that's why I feel like really I'm concerned for some of them, because it's almost like when it gets to a new generation of like music and it gets back to like 3-minute songs or 4-minute songs, it's kind of be like, I mean, I don't mind like an interlude, like a 2-minute song, like hearing it like an interlude, like on a record. But it's a lot of like 2-minute songs on one album. It's like you pretty much would see like, hell, 4 2-minute songs or 3 2-minute songs. I'm like, we really kind of need to get back to like 3-minute songs and 4-minute songs, because that way people can enjoy the music. Especially if I'm enjoying a record that's really, really good and it's just 2 minutes, I'm like, I know there's more that you had to say on this record. I know it's more that you have to say, so just be creative. And I feel like that's why really for female R&B, we gotta step it up. We gotta support these, talented R&B artists, because really, it's like this. We have to really put in a lot of work and just buy the music. It's not just saying, oh, I support this artist. You gotta buy the music. You don't want to be a support just on social media. You gotta buy the music. So that's why I feel like, now for R&B female artists and the face of like black female R&B artists, we need to see more representation of black female R&B artists win, and win, period. And along with female R&B artists who are not black. I'm not here to say, because there are some talented non-black female artists, that JoJo, perfect example. I can't wait for her new album. Good to know. I'm gonna have to say, but I have to get that album, because JoJo is a perfect example. She is the real deal. Same thing with Tia Marie, how she was the real deal before. Rest in peace to Miss Tia Marie. Who else? Who else did I like? I like Tori Kelly. Yeah, basically, some of them, like I said, they make some really good ass music. Yeah, because it's kind of like, it's really more of like that, the artists that really appreciate the music, it's kind of like you'll hear it in the sounds, and you'll hear it in like the direction. But with that being said, I feel like, even with like artists that especially have a sound that is so nostalgia and so, unique and different. And like I said, some of them, they have struggled trying to maintain and try to have longevity in, you know, the music business. Perfect example, I gotta talk about Tinashe. Because Tinashe just put out her new album, Songs For You, last year. She's going on tour. I will be seeing her next month at the Fillmore, April 23rd, and I will do a concert review, so be on the lookout for that. Because Tinashe is a perfect example of an artist where you can't put her in a box, and she already crafted a sound that was her, unique, and all that stuff she went through with her ex-label. Now she's on her own independent record label, Tinashe Music Inc. She's a perfect example of like one of these artists, like in the female artist category, where she had to really fight for her art and maintain her sound, because that's what the fans loved from her in the first place. And also, especially with her now, she's just getting back into the swing of things and making sure like her music speaks for itself and her artistry lives up to what she really put in with her music. Because really, it's like, that's why the music gotta really live up to like these artists, because now it's just, you know, we want to hear new music, we want to hear new content and direction. But with that being said, guys, I feel like I did a pretty good job wrapping up everything. I wanted to get to the point. I didn't want to make a long video, but you guys get the drift. 45 minutes, almost 50 minutes, a 50-minute video is not that bad, because I feel like I tried to really kind of give you guys the bigger picture where how I noticed and how the change in music is going on right now in the progression. But for the future of R&B female artists, the black female artists in general, specifically and especially, please make sure, you know, stay true to yourself, stay true to your art, you know, have integrity, work hard, be creative with your music, be consistent with your music, feed your fans content, put out EPs, put out mixtapes. And listen, your time will be on the rise, it will be on the way. When you establish yourself as an artist, you can really take the world by storm. Also, I feel like work with different producers. Also, make sure that you get into producing. Produce your own music. Perfect example, Tinashe produces her own music. She writes her own music, she produces her own music. Missy Elliott has been doing this for years. So take steps into your music career, because unfortunately, you can't rely on everybody to help you. You can't rely on everybody to depend on, like, you know, to get your music out. And it's good to have a solid, like, you know, team and management of like good people to promote your music, believe in your work, and really do the damn thing. But also, you gotta do the work yourself as well. So with that being said, guys, this wraps this up for my video about, like I said, R&B female artists and the future of female R&B artists. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I did the best I possibly, you know, could to really give you guys an idea of what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing right now. But with that being said, guys, please let me know down below, how do you guys feel? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions on the current music of female R&B artists? And who are some of your favorite female artists that you grew up with during your era, during your genre, during the days, well, not genre, during your era of like the early 2000s, the 90s? You know, let me know down below. Please, let's have a conversation. And please, guys, please, I really appreciate you just support this video. You know, send it, let people hear it, listen to it, and let people have their opinions and dialogues, because I really want to hear y'all like opinions on like how you guys feel about this current new music of female R&B artists. Who are your new favorite current female R&B artists upcoming right now? And don't be afraid to have a conversation with me. As I always say, tune in your next episode, Get Cincinnati 2. Please don't be afraid to like, share, comment, subscribe down below. Please don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Please don't be afraid to hit that notification button. As I always say, tune in the next episode, Get Cincinnati 2. Dragon Ball Z Nerd reference. Peace. Bye-bye. As always, girls exiting out. The Super Saiyan's out.